Hi guys, today is Friday, March 2nd. It's a bit rainy and gloomy outside, but fortunately for me, it's actually one of the rare days off, sort of, that I have. And I thought I'd catch you guys up on how I've been doing on the Renaissance Periodization Diet templates, as well as their Female Physique template, because it has been about a little over a month since I have begun. So just a quick recap, on January 22nd, I started the Renaissance Periodization Diet. The last time I updated you guys, I did mention that I had unfortunately gained back the weight that I had lost the first time I did this diet. Plus, I gained even more, so I essentially started off way heavier than the first time, and it's actually the first time, or the heaviest I've ever weighed at all. At the same time, I also started the Female Physique Template, otherwise known as FPT, which is also created by the Renaissance Periodization guys. And I had bought this template back in November or December during their Black Friday holiday sale, and I've been holding off on starting it because of the holidays and because I wanted to wait until I got back from vacation before starting this. For my diet, I stuck to pretty much the same plan I had the first time I did it, which was to find foods and recipes that I really enjoyed and learn how to make them really well, so that way I don't mind eating them over and over again, and that way I become pro at making these recipes really quick. And yeah, just stick to, my biggest advice is just to stick to something simple that tastes amazing. So I've been eating a lot of eggs, egg whites. Sometimes I'll throw in a little bacon if I am permitted a little bit more fats. Chicken breasts, ground turkey, veggies, mostly zucchini, squash, and spinach, and sometimes kale, just because all of those are really simple, really easy to make. And then I've been actually consuming a lot of hot sauce. So Trader Joe's makes this hot sauce that tastes amazing, and it's not too hot, because if you know me, I'm actually a big wuss when it comes to spicy stuff, but it tastes amazing. It'll turn any boring chicken breasts or veggies into something completely delicious. A few things that have been a huge game changer have been Costco's chicken breasts. So they sell their rotisserie chicken breasts boneless and skinless in a vacuum sealed bag. I think it's about a little over 2 pounds. And it's just amazing because now I don't have to peel off the skin or debone it or get too dirty, and it's just there and ready to eat. So I'll either eat it as is, throw hot sauce on it, throw pesto sauce on it, stir fry it, stick in a sandwich. So it's very versatile, very convenient. I totally recommend you guys check that out. Also, Costco's frozen veggies, they're frozen cauliflower, frozen spinach and kale, frozen butternut squash. All of those have been really convenient, especially when I don't have a lot of time to cook. And then, like I already mentioned, Trader Joe's hot sauce, pick that up. It's really good. As for FPT, or the Female Physique Template, it's been a really nice change of pace. So I'm used to CrossFit style workouts. I'm used to weightlifting programming and a little bit of powerlifting. But I've never really have stuck to a hypertrophy program or have done a lot of movements that are considered bodybuilding. Just because, as you know, a lot of CrossFitters rag on bodybuilding movements, which I admit I was one of those people. But that has changed over the past few years, and even more so now that I have started the Female Physique Template. So the way that these templates work, it's kind of similar to the diet templates. You purchase your template. You do have to choose how many days a week you would like to train. So in my case, I purchased the 3 times a week template, and I think you also, I don't think you give them your weight, but I think you do give them your experience level. So it's either you have an experience of under 5 years or over 5 years of lifting. And so you purchase that, they email you a template and a couple of other documents, like an information document, a how-to, and an FAQ document. Can't recall exactly. It is really nice because it's I think a 19-week long program divided up into 4 mesocycles, and you pretty much get to tailor your workouts. So you get to choose each movement and kind of choose, well, I wouldn't say choose, but well, you do choose the amount of reps you do according to what they guide you through. And you can do these workouts at home if you have some equipment, or at the gym, pretty much anywhere. And depending on what movements you choose, you don't really need a lot of fancy equipment. So you don't need like global gym, leg press, or any of those weight machines. You could easily do this with dumbbells or a simple barbell, kettlebell, stuff like that. And I should mention that you can recycle these templates for future use. So it's not like a one-time deal, which is really nice. And if you are following the cut templates or the diet templates, following that along with FPT, it kind of allows you to eat a little bit more for like moderate or hard days, which is really nice for those days that you feel like you're starving. So with this template, I got to choose a lot of movements that I'm familiar with, such as pressing, squats, and deadlifts. But what made it really interesting was the high volume in which you have to do these movements, which I am not used to. I'm used to doing like a 5x5, 5x3, 6x3, but nothing really over 5 to 7 reps. So it was kind of defeating and pretty funny. But so for example, instead of squatting, 150 pounds, I ended up scaling the weight down to like 70 pounds, 75 pounds, because my body was just not having the high volumes. It was very, very humbling. Another interesting thing, I guess I would call it a wake-up call, is the dumbbell movements. So there's, dumbbell presses, seated, not seated, lateral raises, curls. I could not do what I would call heavy weight. So I ended up doing a lot of these movements with 5, 10, or 15 pounds. And it was funny how much it destroyed me. And makes me think that I need to add more dumbbell movements to my programming. I also got to use my fiance's cable pulley system for exercises such as underhand pull downs, lat pull downs, tricep extensions, and it has been probably my favorite piece of equipment thus far for using this programming. So if you have one of those are handy, or if you are looking for new exercises to do at the convenience of your own home, definitely look into that. They're not that expensive, and you can use weights that you already have. So if you have plates, you're pretty much good to go. And then I've been learning new movements, which have been exciting for me because I get bored doing the same things over again. So movements like the cable face pulls, upright rows I've seen, I've never done really, and the modified candlestick. So those are some of the movements that I've been learning and have been really enjoying. To be honest, during the first week of the Female Physique Template, after each exercise or each training day, I felt really unsatisfied. I wasn't huffy or puffy. I didn't feel exhausted like I do when I complete a CrossFit style workout. And I wasn't like super sweaty either, and that could be part of that could be because I'm working outside and it's pretty cold. But I would leave each training session unsatisfied, and I even debated whether or not to throw in a CrossFit style workout or to do running or rowing or something, because I just didn't feel anything, and I didn't feel like the work that I did justified the eating plan that I was sticking to. So like I said, I was following the directions of the cut template. And oh my gosh, I am so glad I did not do that, because the following day I was dead. And not only was I dead, but because the programming progresses each week and I had more and more volume, I was completely destroyed. So I am so glad I didn't do that. So if you are in this predicament, I would think twice before adding anything additional to your training session. I would just stick to their directions or instructions as closely as possible, because you might regret it. So overall, I am really liking the Female Physique Template, and I'm really enjoying doing that and doing the cut template at the same time. It's been a really interesting experience thus far. Love the movements, love how my body is feeling. I will say this, that my weight is fluctuating a lot more now that I am doing the cut template with the FPT template, just because I'm retaining more water doing the high volume stuff, as well as I'm consuming more carbs. So it's a little defeating, but every time there's a deload week, I do see the change overall in my weight. I just gotta be patient, and if you're doing this as well, you need to be very patient, because weight loss is not clear-cut, as well as strength gains, it's not clear-cut. So be patient and take progress photos, because that will help a lot. Can't wait to update you guys on my first weigh-in and my thoughts on that. Stay tuned. So a couple of tips I wanted to share if you're doing the cut template or the FPT, or specifically both of them at the same time. Number one, plan ahead. It is super key. If you decide to open your files the day before or the day of, even a couple days beforehand, you will feel overwhelmed. So I would recommend opening up your files right away. Familiarize yourself with them. Read every bit of instruction and direction over and over again, because most likely the question that you have will be in those pieces of paper. And then really plan what days you'll be training, how you'll be eating for those days, and what you'll be eating. And meal prep is so key. It's part of the planning ahead and preparation. It is for most people it does suck, and it's a pain in the butt, but it's super helpful, and it just takes some time and practice to get used to. Another tip I have is to take progress photos, because often that will be the best way to show your progress more than the scale, because with the scale it doesn't take into consideration the changes in body fat and lean body mass. And oftentimes a lot of people feel like they've either gained weight or have been stagnant, but their progress photos show an amazing change. So definitely do that, and take it from different angles, so the front view, the side view, the back. That way you can compare all three. And try to take them wearing similar clothing, or if not the same clothing, and in similar lighting each time. Tip number 3, don't be discouraged if your weight fluctuates. So especially with doing both programs at the same time, you're going to be consuming a lot more carbs. So you'll most likely feel bloated or stuffed. And also your body's going to be retaining a lot more water from doing all the high volume work. So try not to be discouraged. It happens to a lot of us. And if you feel like the scale's not budging, just wait till deload week. You'll see a lot of change during that time, most likely. Tip number 4, stay away from or eat less of vegetables that will make you super bloated or gassy. So that's stuff like cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, iceberg lettuce. For most people, they will make you feel super stuffed, super bloated, and super gassy. For me especially, I made the mistake of eating too much of those things because I really, really like those vegetables. And I had terrible stomach aches. So now I've toned down a lot on those vegetables. Number 5, do a lot of research on the Facebook forums or Facebook groups. There's quite a few Renaissance Periodization Facebook groups that are unofficial, but a lot of the people that are in those groups are doing those templates. So there's an RP client group, there's an RP lady cutting group, there's a female physique template group, there's probably a male group. I know there's an endurance group that for those people who are doing RP, as well as CrossFitters who are doing RP. So find your group. I've joined multiple ones, and do your research on there, because a lot of times the questions you might have are answered in those forums. And if they aren't, feel free to ask, because there's a lot of people that are very helpful in those forums, and that will help you give some insight or some advice as to what to do. And lastly, don't stress out. Progress is slow and steady and not always a straight line. Like I said, your weight might fluctuate. Just be patient. It will work out. And if you are looking for a quick fat loss miracle solution, then the Renaissance Periodization Diet is not for you. So keep that in mind. Hopefully those tips help you out. If you have any tips of your own, feel free to comment below, and good luck.